Why are you even doing nursing? You're just gonna wipe bum.
Right.
I honestly did not choose to do nursing. I think it's like a Filipino thing.
Is there a doctor on the plane?
I get quite offended. Like, I just saw like nurse.
They have this idea that all doctors and nurses are just banging in the hospital. I'm like, okay, Grey's Anatomy is not reality.
Kia ora.
Kia ora.
Welcome to NOIS.
NOIS.
No one is safe.
No topic shall ever remain safe.
I love it when you say that. I don't know why.
It just switch it up. You know, you gotta keep them guessing.
Yeah.
Today we have a special guest. I say this every time, but every guest that we have is special in their own special kind of way. And our topic today is a nurse's life needs nursing.
It does.
It does need nursing.
And thankfully we have the expert on that here today. But before we progress to that, we'd like to say a big thank you to our sponsor. Was mentioned, Tonye Medical is one of our big sponsors. I work for Tonye, so I love that, and we both happen to work for Tonye. Tonye is still accepting patients. So please do log on to tonyemedical.co.nz.
Can they call up? Can they call up or come in?
Yes, they can call up and they can come in.
Awesome.
And it's all quite easy, isn't it?
Yeah.
So if you're looking for a new GP and some great people to take care of you. Today's topic, as you said, a nurse's life needs nursing. Sometimes, a lot of times. And this is in tribute to International Nurses Month.
Whoop, whoop.
And obviously Millie is one of my very, very amazing colleagues and friend. But obviously the reason why we have chosen this topic is because obviously celebrating nurses and the importance nurses, the role nurses play, because they are the foundation to a good healthcare system. And quite often they are, undervalued, overworked in many of these, scenarios, especially in NZ, but actually across the world, to be honest. And we are experiencing an overwhelming amount of emigration of the healthcare force, especially the nurses, and it's obviously leaving us with a very, very broken or even more broken system. So it's a great topic, and who else but the gorgeous, beautiful Pinoy queen, Millie. Do you want to talk a bit about yourself?
Hi everyone, kamusta everyone? Hi, it's Millie. Yes, as Tonye said, I do work with Tonye Medical. Thank you, Tonye. Yes, I've only known Tonye for like maybe a year or so, and we're
already
like
besties, go ahead.
But yeah, so I arrived from the Philippines when I was 9 years old, 16 odd years ago. So my parents came in first and then they brought us here for a better life. I do live in a little town called Huntley.
Yo,
shout out to Huntley.
Where the Minecraft movie was shot.
What movie was shot
The
there?
Minecraft movie.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, with Jason Momoa.
Yes, and Black Jack.
If Jason Momoa was there, I could have come.
But yeah, so that's
cute. And she's also a mom, girl.
Yes, I do. Yes, I am a mom.
She's like, not this weekend.
Not this weekend.
I am here right now.
Yes, hi little Kelly.
Oh, Kelly, she's the cutest, guys.
Yeah, she's 19 months and
oh, they grow so fast.
They really do.
So cute.
Awesome. And where do you work currently?
Just to say,
just to reiterate it, because I want to do that. We work in Tonye.
So which Tonye Medical? Because there's several, right?
Yeah, there's several. I think there's about 7 or 8.
Yes.
I do work mostly in Rototuna and Huntley, since it's just like 3 minutes away from home.
Nice.
Yeah.
And there's Tarapa, which is the cool one.
Oh.
Shameless plug.
Yeah, we've got a few discussion points that we're very curious to hear. Later on, we've got some questions from the people who have sent in some questions. And then after the questions from the people, we will have a quick fire. Quick fire.
Do you have your bulletproof vest on?
I do not today.
Oh, well.
You left it in Huntley, eh?
Yeah, I left it at Huntley.
Girl. I could borrow you mine, but Mine will be too big, girl. So you're just gonna have to take this one with the chest out.
So, what made you choose nursing as a career? What was the drive?
I honestly did not choose to do nursing.
Ooh.
It was my mom. I think it's like a Filipino thing. You know, like
Yes,
how
the pressure?
Yeah, the pressure. Like you're either gonna be somewhere in medicine, a lawyer, or an engineer.
Yeah.
Second rule. Who taught them all this?
I don't know. Like you can't be anything
Damn.
else. But yeah, so she made me do nursing. I always wanted to be a flight attendant.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, because
I wanted to travel.
I can see it.
Yeah. But here I am.
I could see you doing the old like.
Yeah.
Yeah. Out here. Exit.
I do it in my head too with them.
I know.
Do you?
When they're doing it, I'm like,
know.
they're like the exits. I know where they are.
I've counted the
I've
rows.
counted the rows.
Follow the light.
Do not pull the tab.
Yeah. Yeah.
Cute.
Oh, cute.
Yeah.
Okay.
And when you chose to do nursing, did you? At what stage did you always enjoy it? Do you know?
I think I started enjoying it because I studied with a few of my friends.
Nice.
Yeah, so a high school friend of mine, we didn't graduate together, but she's a year ahead of me. She did nursing along with me, and I think I found like the camaraderie just I had someone to do this with.
Yeah.
And then I did gain a few more friends along those years. So
Nice.
in saying that, I graduated along with Bruti
Oh, Roots.
and Rupinda.
Shout out, bro. Oh,
and
Ruru.
Sylvestina.
Oh my God, that was a good class.
Yeah, so all four of us came from around the same class.
These are the fun gals. These are the
Fun
fun
ones.
gals in the group. Did you ever have any regrets choosing nursing? At any point before we move on to that.
I think it's the work social life balance, which it is easier with Tui, but I guess. But now with my little one, yeah, I mean, to earn the money, you have to work
gotta put in the hours.
Yeah, so sacrifices.
In New Zealand, obviously you've studied here, you trained here, so you'd have a good scope on what the challenges are in New Zealand for nurses. So what do you feel might be some that come? Obviously there's loads, but do you feel like there's any that jump into your mind that?
Just in saying that with the immigration, like in and out of New Zealand, with the there's more nurses from overseas that are finding it hard to kind of like, they get culture shocked. It's real different. Yeah, especially with speaking, because you know Kiwis talk a bit fast.
Yes.
Yeah, and
The Kaiwais.
Sorry, on behalf.
Yeah, and I don't know. I guess it's just like the way they understand, and I guess like the jokes and all.
Yeah.
But in a way, in the patient sense, it'll be the same. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you know, nursing is about communicating. Really. Yeah. Because.
And making them feel Oh. I always wonder, like, okay, is there any sort of, would you ever face sort of challenges regarding I'm just gonna ask this now, like with the doctors that you work with?
Yeah.
Or doctors in general?
I guess.
Oh,
Yeah.
please do tell. And at the end of that, you better tell some names.
No.
No, I'm just kidding. No, but in general, do you find that like there's a disconnect, or do you find that there's usually
especially with you know, with rotating doctors, I guess we can't connect as much. Like you say you'd like to do this, and then this doctor does this, and then this doctor would be like, why is this doctor doing this? And I'm like, I'm just doing what you're telling me to do.
And that's the thing, because you know, with challenges, most people don't, that different perception, I suppose, and depending on where they work.
And I'm always stuck in the middle. I'm just like, well, I don't know. I think that was a good idea, but I mean, you're saying this.
You say that you do, and that is a huge point. I'll tell you what, a lot of doctors, we do not know anything about the ground. We know we know what to say about something, but we don't know what doing the actual thing is. So a lot of times, some doctors will say, "Oh, do this," and then generally blanketing the rule, like, okay, let's say change a wound dressing or whatever, and it's like the nurse could be like, "Oh, what do you want on it?"
It's like whatever you put on it.
Whatever, like, oh, like, put this and this, and then she's like, that might not actually work, because you know, the doctor being somebody who has not ever done this before, and that's how you know the difference. You know, because some doctors will be like very forceful, like actually no, I want that, and it's like, and then obviously when it falls apart, the nurse is now the one who's like, I did say it wasn't a good idea. And then that ends up being like a really weird, sticky situation because she's like, okay, I don't want to call him out, but that is, I'm not going to take the fall for it. So a lot of times nurses end up taking the fall because like, I did say it, they didn't listen. So there's a lot of like, just another, even not from just patients, like there's challenges even from doctors in the workplace.
What are some misconceptions the public may think about nursing?
I love this one though.
Or nurses in general.
I love this one like 100% because most of my non-nurses friends, they'll be like, why are you even doing nursing? You're just gonna wipe bum. You know, you're just gonna shower them.
That's what they think. Like,
everyone's like, oh my god,
really? Like you're just gonna clean houses for work. I was like, well, no, yes, but no.
But that might happen sometimes. But there's so much more to it, right?
Honestly, there's so much heart that we give to the patient. Like we're there to care for them. Yeah, not just
And I think a lot of times the patients bond so much more with the nurses. They're like, oh, I want that. Like they look for who they want. I was thinking you're gonna say like one of the misconceptions that they think you wear a sexy nurse's outfit.
Like a crop top.
I'm like, it's not Halloween, guys. Like not those. I don't know where this thing came from, but I don't know when nurses were ever wearing those kind of outfits. They're like, no.
The stockings.
Like, there's a lot. I'm like, what is this? Who started this fantasy?
I don't know who did, but let's find out.
Yeah. They have this idea that all doctors and nurses are just banging in the hospital. I'm like, okay, Grey's Anatomy is not reality. First of all, the sleeping quarters are disgusting. It's full of MRSA and all the other bars. Fun times hooking up is not what we think about when we're in work.
Okay, so it's not Grey's Anatomy.
It is not. So I think that it's just to kill that. The guys, that does not ever happen.
No, it doesn't.
Not on site, at least. Wank, wank. I feel like a lot of times people do not know and this is more for like people who want to go into nursing because we need more nurses, guys. We want to encourage people to kind of train and stuff. So what are the pathways? Like what if today if somebody wanted to be a nurse or I want to be a nurse, what are the options? What do we do? What was your pathway like?
So since I grew up here in New Zealand, so I, primary, high school and college here, quite straightforward, 3 years nursing, like through any polytechs that are available with, and then there's the uni now. So just the first year, it's a bit like the curriculum was quite different than our time. We had less time training on site.
Oh.
Yeah.
So like book. Like reading, placements. Oh yeah.
We had less time doing that.
So you were more in the classroom.
More in the classroom.
Reading
doing essays.
Which we know now does not do very much for anyone in the real world.
In any industry, right? Like it's all book smart is.
It's not giving.
Book smart is not giving.
It's not giving.
It's like, come on, educators, fix this.
But they changed the curriculum. I think now, like a semester 2, we have a semester 2 student, and she's already doing 4 weeks.
Oh wow!
At the time when we did ours, we had 4 days.
Shit,
yeah,
really?
4 days in that semester 2.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is crazy to me because when you graduate, they expect you
to just jump straight in.
You graduate on Friday, you are working on Monday. Your job is on Monday, and they're assuming that expecting you to you've graduated, you're a nurse, you should be able to do all this stuff. It's like, well, I know how to do it in theory. I can describe it to you.
But I can write you an essay.
I can write you an essay on it.
But
wow.
That's good that it's changed then, right? It's obviously
good.
There was someone somewhere who recognised that it needed to change. So that's good. That's really good.
Definitely. But on the other sense of like international nurses, if they came here as a visitor or something else, not as a nurse, they can go through like a CAT course.
Okay.
Do like an English test first and then do the CAT course, and then I think that's about 7 to 10 weeks, I think.
Yeah.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but yeah, and then they do the states exam and then they become a nurse.
So they don't need to do any sort of training. They have to go through the uni style type training. So once they do the CAP course, it's just like a little bit of a pre-test to the state exam. Is that what the CAP course? To see like the skills, maybe.
It's like I think you still enroll.
Oh yeah.
And then it's like a placement.
Oh yeah. So you want to see how you are in the workplace. What can you do? How do you deal with patients? How do you handle?
Yeah. And then just to have like an introduction of
to the system.
The system.
Yeah. And then obviously you do the state, and that's worldwide. Even with medicine, you have to do the state exam, board for lawyers or whatever in that country or area. Oh yeah, cute. And is there, obviously you've done your nursing undergrad, is there like a higher, can nurses do?
Yeah, what's the highest?
There is higher.
Yeah,
level.
it is higher. I'm currently just doing the first paper of my postgrad.
Nice
Thank you. I'm like low-key regretting it, but
it's always regretful while it's happening, bro. Don't we all hate those exams?
myself into this.
I'm regretting it for you.
Yeah, and then so they.
And then what's the paper? Is it a nurse?
Prescriber.
Okay, good.
So at the moment
Okay.
I'm just doing a certificate bit, which is just 2 papers, and in the next year it'll be the pathophysiology, and that's when you get the diploma.
Nice.
For the nurse prescriber, and then from a nurse prescriber you can become a practitioner. Nurse practitioner.
Yeah. So let's elaborate for the peoples.
Yeah.
The people that don't know a nurse prescriber and a nurse practitioner, and how important and different these roles are, guys. Because a lot of patients will come in and they don't realize who they've seen and met.
Yeah.
Just give a brief between like at least the prescriber and the practitioner.
So with the prescriber, they have a limited amount of medications that they can prescribe.
Yeah.
But then they still work under the scope of a doctor. So they can't work by themselves. As with the practitioner, there's clinics that's nurse practitioners led.
Wow, really?
So even a nurse, as a nurse prescriber, the only thing is, and it's not because it's the prescribing that's limited. So you're still getting the same, consultation as the same thing. It's just it's like a handful of maybe medications that they can't prescribe. That is what is limiting the scope. So that's why they can't be on their own, because they cannot. There's some maybe high level medications. They can put you on a morphine drive and say, you go home on that. But that's where the limitation is, not necessarily the consultation or what you're getting from that. So we always find like sometimes in terms of, actually we're talking about misconceptions, sometimes patients will come in and they're like, oh, they've seen a nurse prescriber or a nurse practitioner. But I mean, thankfully not as much now.
And they
but
get
they're like,
quite offended. Like, I just saw a nurse.
You pay your $190, you pay whatever that you have to pay.
Put you in that one category, right?
That you've just
received.
Because even if you see doctor, like if you think about what nurses can do all the way down to like they can actually tell you what this wound and how to dress it or what. A doctor cannot tell you, they'll be like, oh, you have a wound and this is what it is and you need this medicine. And a nurse prescriber knows right from that level up to being able to here is your medication and goodbye.
Wow.
Do you know kind of way? So a lot of science patients don't get this. So
is it common then for a nurse to then proceed through? Not really?
No.
So why do you think that is?
I think some of them just really wanted to be nurses.
Yeah.
They just don't want to lose that patient contact, teaching and educating and that's what I heard from my other colleagues as well. And I am thinking about that. I'm like, I think I'm gonna miss this if I ever do become something else.
Except I mean I'll tell you what, the only time I've ever and that's the thing, and maybe you might be thinking, that every time I've done an exam, it's not because it's cute. I don't want to be sitting there reading things, but I want the cash money.
Yes, that is the.
So you obviously get paid, like going through the levels, then you obviously get pay increases. They have different windows of pay grades and scales.
Because your skill is elevating. So like in anything in life, like your skill is elevating. So Yeah, so that's why you do it, but you don't lose your nurse. So that way you become a nurse practitioner or a prescriber. Your expectations from your work is higher,
a lot higher.
Because
you can still be that to the patient.
But they want you to
caring.
be there, like we want you consulting. We need you performing at that other level. You know, getting patients through, and you know. But it is. It's one of those that people don't know and see behind the door. You walk into the door, just seeing everybody walking around. You don't know.
Or to be fair, I knew there was the prescriber part. I didn't realize there was another.
Oh yeah, Patricia can open her own clinic.
Yeah, I did not realize that. So that was really good to learn that. So that's awesome. Okay, so what about like an awkward moment? Like we've gone from quite serious talk to like
fluff.
A bit of fluff. Like, has there ever been an awkward moment that you can think of that's just like, oh my gosh,
surely you must have had one. Like, look, Millie, we can go back to before the ring was put on it. You know, patients and people can be weird.
Oh yeah, they're quite weird and quite sexual.
Yes.
Yeah, like. Yeah, there was this one time. It was, I don't know, I kind of felt offended really. I kind of felt offended because I was doing his bologna cast, so I had to mold it in a 90-degree position, right? And with that, it's a leg. He's quite a big man. I was using my body, and so it was like I didn't think of it at that time, but like his foot was right here, and he was like, yeah, keep pressing hard on that. And and I was just like,
yeah, you're like, I'm trying to like.
I'm like, I can't help you right now.
And now
turn it into a sexual thing.
Yeah, so that's awkward.
These are the things that we don't realize. And it happens quite
very
often. Because
not just to me, to others.
Yeah, oh, definitely. It would happen.
Like,
you see it in the movies, you know, these creepy men like trying to feel
that part is real.
Yeah.
Not what I like the misconception. That is real. They would find and then sometimes they'll come and like a patient will be like, oh, I want to. Is that nurse here to change? I'm like, no, she's not. And he's like, oh, has a dressing like a weird place. And
like
no,
it's
I
growing.
want her. And I'm like, it's a male nurse.
Yeah.
And he's like, I can I get? And I'm like, no, you cannot get a female nurse. You are gonna get a male nurse because they'll come in with like a penis problem.
Yeah.
And they want a female. I'm like, no. No, you're going to get. I'm like, why? Excuse me. I'm like, we have to protect. This is like, what do you mean? Like, whatever problem is down there, a male with a male problem would be able to fix or manage that better. But you know, so people come with like weird things, so you would get this kind of.
Like in that sense, I thought I'm just thinking. I wish we had more male nurses.
Yeah. So those kind of situations, because they come in and they like.
That was actually one of the questions from the people. Was around what the ratio is.
Oh, we can still whip it out and ask it.
Yeah. Are there many?
The only one that we had just left to become a doctor.
Okay.
Oh, Benny. Hi, Ben.
But we have none. That
I see a lot of nursing male students.
I've seen
one.
one.
Like one in. I think maybe 1 in
10.
10, yeah. So they're not that many.
1 in 20?
They're not that. And I wonder why, because I think a lot of I'm going to call it boy nurses, guy nurses probably get a bit more slack and not abuse, but like ridicule. Obviously, because women and girls are more
nurturing and gentle.
So they're not thinking like all of a sudden like he's not going to know what he's doing.
Yeah,
or
he's going to be rough.
He's going to be rough with me. And so it's more of a culture thing. I think that's like a universal thing.
Yeah.
But hopefully that will change. Yeah, it is. It's like, how dare you think that a guy cannot be as caring as a woman?
Yeah.
I'm a very caring guy.
You are.
I know 2. Apart from you, I know 2 caring guys. That's
I don't know. Do you know what I thought you said? I thought you said I know 2.
Oh, that you're caring.
Yeah. No. And you know 2 other caring guys.
Who's the others?
I know. That's a very specific number of guys that care. What world are we living in? Damn, only 2 caring guys?
Basically what I'm saying is not many guys are caring. Did you ever consider becoming a doctor?
No.
No?
No, I cannot tolerate the amount of study that they do. Yeah.
Neither can I.
like the amount of, researching and just doing my essay now just gives me like just want to gag.
I love that you feel what I feel.
I cannot do that.
We can cry together.
I know.
Do you think that's a majority of people who just like, you obviously both have the same vibe. You want to help people, whether it was something your parents wanted you to do as a, from a young,
a doctor.
Fall
like a passion
into
it, or do you see it like differently because of the amount of time it takes to study to become a doctor? Was that
that was a big
the
part
main
of it.
barrier?
Yeah, that was just one barrier.
So you have so much respect for the doctors because they've done the hard yards.
Yeah.
The hard yards is that first part, and that's before you go into the real world, and then you realize that I'm actually doing hard now, being on this side. So it's one of the things that is like for me, I would have only known to do medicine because my parents did it. I wanted to be like a radiographer. I wanted to do many things in the medical field when I was trying to impress them somehow. And they were like, Mom was like, no, you're gonna do this. If you're gonna do it, you're gonna do it. And I'm just like, that's how it is, right? No, I'm like, oh, wow, okay, so I guess I don't have a say in what I'm gonna do with my own company.
Next question, have you ever been in a public place, out and about with your friends, your family or whatever, where medical assistance was required on somebody? And there was like, again on the movies, on the plane. Is there a doctor on the plane?
Someone give me back.
Like,
no, I wish it was. But there was one
I do not ever. I avoid.
He hates it. He just hopes he's drunk when there's like a moment where there's is there a doctor in the house?
At least once. I want to experience it.
Just once.
No, but there was this one time, just someone with hypoglycemia. He didn't need much, but I just sat there by him and was like, okay.
Oh, so did you have to call an ambulance?
I wouldn't want to
in the plane.
Oh, in the plane. Oh,
they were like, is there any healthcare people here on the plane?
Oh, really?
Like, I was sleeping.
Can you just like, what was the condition he had? Sorry,
hypoglycemia. Blood sugar. So diabetic. Yeah. So
okay. So he was feeling faint.
Yeah, he was feeling faint, clammy.
Yeah, I don't feel like. So that's much more dangerous. I'd be like somebody giving some sugar.
Yeah. So have you had orange juice at least? And like, yeah, I have. So anyway, I was sleeping and my husband was just like,
they're calling out.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
How dare you wake me for this?
I was like, oh, it's my time to
do some action.
But it was like, da-da-da-da. She pulls out, opens her shirt, and Superwoman. I have been waiting, super nurse, ready to go.
But he was okay.
Oh, yeah.
That's good. I'm good.
Yeah, more than fine.
Next question. How do you handle, so after a stressful day, how do you wind down and handle, like if there was like a really serious case at work and it really hit you, it was stressful.
Afterwards?
Yeah, so like how do you...
I like to watch Korean dramas to see my Korean
nice.
oppas. My Korean oppas, And
you know what yes, and I watched the ones on the Instagram the short movie, the drama wave ones. Oh my god, there's drama wave. The acting is so bad. They're like short. So I love it. I love it. There's different apps, guys. There's drama wave. There's short. Even from the minute you see the filming of it, this is so bad. I am obsessed with it.
Oh my god.
I don't know why. I watched this. I'm like seeing the cringy, like, oh, how dare you? I'm gonna like that. And then that's my little. I finally said it in public. I am not ashamed anymore.
Yeah.
I watched those.
So just. Yeah, I like, Tonye, how you've been keeping that a really large secret from me.
I knew you were gonna judge me.
I'm not judging. I would never
I need
judge.
to show you
but
one of them so you can
please,
then you.
no, I don't
then
know.
I'll see if you're gonna judge me. Yeah, I haven't tested you yet. I'll show you one of them and then you can tell me what you think.
Okay.
Then I'll look in the eye and be like, are you judging me yet?
What kind of volunteer work have you done as a nurse, if you've done any? Or, so the reason I'm asking this, I travelled a couple of years ago through Southeast Asia, and there was a lot of volunteer programs where training doctors and training nurses would come and volunteer in the hospitals and clinics, and I thought it was so admirable because I was like, man, these people are studying and, you know, they're trying so hard to get to whatever it is they want to do, be a doctor, a nurse, or whatever, but they're still wanting to add that extra layer in. So have you done any volunteering?
No, I wish I could. I know one of my
Same.
friends gonna do one.
Yeah.
I think in Fiji, but
Nice.
yeah, but I wish I could, like, even in the Philippines.
Yeah.
And in the future, I mean,
And,
there's still
yeah.
You still could in the future because I
Yeah.
think it's so...
I haven't yet, and I also want to. I knew that when I first, obviously, when I met you, I realized she was always very, very big into like
Yeah.
volunteering and doing. And you carry that on throughout knowing you, even to the point where you traveled and you went to
Yeah.
Southeast Asia and you did all your volunteering for like 3 months. But yeah, no, I want to kind of make. I feel like a part of it is maybe even your personality. I don't know if that's the word I need to use, but I feel like it's in because for me, I have to find a way to create the time and space,
Yeah,
not only
it's a bit
physically but in
harder.
my head.
Yeah.
To do that. But yeah, no, definitely it's one thing I'm aspiring to do as well.
Are there programs here in New Zealand, do we know?
I think in Waikato Hospital, because that's where my friend's doing it with. Yeah, they're gonna be sent, like a little team sending to Fiji, and they're gonna be doing surgeries.
Nice.
Oh,
Yeah.
That's
I
so
didn't know that.
cool.
So now this is just a cute part, which is the quick fire.
Oh my gosh.
Nurses edition. So we're gonna start it off nice and easy.
Okay.
So I'll give you 2 options. Give me one. Ski holiday, beach holiday.
Beach.
Mucus or vomit.
Oh
my God.
Mucus.
Okay. A cruise or safari.
Safari.
Oh, I like that. That's a good one. Big work unit or small work unit.
Medium. No,
Oh,
a
see?
small.
Because I'm play the game, girl.
A small one.
Small. Oh, why do you say small work unit?
I feel like I can connect to the people more.
More, yeah. I was going to be like, because I don't like human beings. I'm just kidding. PV exam or PR exam? And please, before you answer it, actually, you know, this one you can have a bit of time. Explain what those 2 versions are.
So
Yeah, because I actually don't know what it is.
Yeah.
PV per vaginal, PR per rectal.
Which exam would you prefer, Millie?
I mean, I do it all the time, so PV.
PV. And I'll tell you what I will not be picking. I'll tell you what.
But you wouldn't be doing
I
but.
will want, you know what, if I was forced with a gun to my head, it will not be PV, that's for sure.
But that's my choice.
I don't know what it's doing.
PV, guys.
Like, no, if you're coming to me, don't bring that.
PV too.
Would you?
Sure, I don't know what this entails.
Well,
I don't know how you guys would do that with the PR exam, just checking the prostate with like.
Well, I mean, look, you can only be good at what you already know how to do yourself. So I will leave it at
That.
that. Super appreciate you coming
Yeah.
on.
Oh, thank you.
And you have been amazing and such a dote.
Yeah.
And it's obviously the take home from us is like, guys, please love your nurses. Nurses
Love your nurses.
are the foundation and the groundwork to a good healthcare system. Without the nurses, we're nothing. The crux is just, one, it's, let's be kind and realize that
Love,
the system
respect.
is love, respect.
Definitely.
The system
Definitely.
is fractured, and we're doing our best, and nurses are doing even more. And secondly, please, we need more nurses. Girls, look what you can aspire to. She's gorgeous. She is stunning. She is smart. She what isn't there? click and look into it, guys. But thank you, Mills, for coming.
No, thank you for having me.
Oh no, it's been such a fucking pleasure.
But like,
I know you were so nervous for nothing. Like I told you were going to be a natural.
If you've got any follow-up questions from today's episode, please don't hesitate to send them in, slip them in. We're keen to hear them, and we can always. Well, I'll bypass Tonye and ask Millie myself now.
You guys are besties now.
yes, we are.
Don't forget to subscribe and like and share.
Yeah.
We are pretty close to our 1,000th follower.
Yay! Guys, come on, click. I know.
We may or may not have a prize for our 1,000th follower.
Should I unfollow and unfollow?
I was like, because Hoana was like, oh, should we say at like 800 and something? I
was trying to figure out, when to say it. Like when because we do have a prize, and by the time this episode comes out,
it will be very close.
So I think we're gonna have a pretty mean prize.
Yeah.
But anyway, like I say, click, subscribe, follow, like, share. We love you. We will see you next time.
Bye.
Thanks, guys.